Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, Bret Hart is back and Triple H is in the crosshairs.
One more match for Wrestlepalooza, maybe.
We got a big return, maybe, on tonight's episode of SmackDown.
And who could replace Triple H as the head booker of WWE?
I'm Andy Murray.
I'm Michael Hamflett.
And this is the news.
It sure is.
It's tasty and delicious. Yeah. Just like us. I'm tasty, he's delicious, and we are the news.
We've always said it.
Malicious. This is malicious.
He's replacing their Triple H. That's the fourth story.
This is the new booker of the Fed. He's got some wacky ideas. I think he wants to put people in a shoot electric shock match in the water.
He's going to counter program AEW with sharks.
Yeah. Gee whiz. I mean, why not? Why not? Right, let's talk about Bret Hart.
Yes,
He's
please.
back. He's been brutally burying people again. This is what Bret Hart does. Death, taxes, and Bret Hart shooting, baby.
Yeah.
This man does not have a filter. We all know this. He doesn't care. He does not care about protecting relationships. He does not care about deals. He doesn't care about playing it safe. Bret Hart cares about one thing, and that is speaking his mind. And his mind is often pointed and aimed at people that are quite popular. So today is Triple H, or this week is Triple H would be more accurate, because he's been on tour with Inside the Ropes.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Kenny and the team. He was in Manchester and he said a bunch of stuff about Triple H. So he described him as a guy I have very little respect for, first of all. He said he wishes that he'd been in the locker room when he knocked out Vince McMahon after the Montreal screw job, because then Triple H may never have married Stephanie. It's like, well, I beat up his dad, Stephanie's dad, so why would you marry the daughter? That is crazy. Here's the exact quote. Triple H, I wish he'd been in the dressing room when I knocked out Vince, because he might not be married to Stephanie. So there you go. He went on. He called Triple H a phony. He said he became Vince's guy. Discussing his role in the Montreal screw job and everyone who was involved in that. He said they were all such scumbags. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, they were set out to destroy me. And then he there's more stuff here as well. But I think the one that got the most people talking was when Bret Hart said there's not a single Triple H match he would consider great, which is quite wild.
I love it specifically when he buries his work.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of obviously water under the bridge personally, ups and downs I would say in kind of lives and times of Bret Hart and Triple H. But it's when he goes for his work, like specifically, that gets me right there, man.
That gets me there. That gets me there because like Triple H, right? Okay, so critics of Triple H will point to like the Reign of Terror and the later career, the overlong WrestleMania 40-minute epics that did not need to be that long, and like various other things in his career and all of this stuff. Personally, I would also, like, when evaluating his career, I would also go to things like the Cactus Jack street fight. But you can understand why Bret Hart would think that match sucks. Yeah. Because it was brutal and bloody, and Triple H had to get bits of wood pulled out of his leg at the end. Yeah. I would go to things like the Ronda Rousey debut match for a more recent example. Tremendous bit of work. I would go to the Hell in a Cell match, Triple H and Shawn and Undertaker at the top of the ramp going like this. The Batista stuff I think is great.
Yeah, a better Iron Man match than Bret and Shawn.
He just well, listen, that's not hard. Me and you could have a better match than that right now. That's one of the most overrated matches of all time. Yeah. Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. I actually think that's better than the main event, personally. It's like this big... Triple H is like this big, blubbering egotist.
Scary that he might win, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they play with in that match.
And he looks like this like really powerful, overpowered buffoon against this like scrappy, technical, opportunist guy who's like the superior. It's a good story and a good match. So, yeah, look, it's the same as the Gunther criticism, right? Like, I can understand why he hates Gunther's style. Yeah. He's always hated chops. But I also don't think he... What was it? A BS fake wrestler or something like that. A fake shitty wrestler, something like that. Yeah, there you go. Bret Hart.
He's the best.
You hate Bret Hart.
I've been very outspoken about my criticism of the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. He called Triple H a 4 out of 10 wrestler once, and I don't agree with that. Here's the deal, right? Like, on a personal note, Bret Hart's my all-time favourite, and I think, right, I've said this to you, you and Cedric hate it when I say this, but the more I say it, the more I think I might actually mean it. I think Triple H is my favourite booker ever, if I count particular periods of time in which I've enjoyed pro wrestling.
Can't hate that, it's subjective.
Like, I think he might be. And yet, it's wild, because Bret Hart is completely right about everything he's saying. It's funny how that works. No, here's the deal, right? In the comments section below, some people that don't like Bret the Hitman Hart, or maybe you're too young to have appreciated what Bret was so amazing at, might just see him as yet again the old bitter legend talking about the people he didn't like, whatever. One thing, like, Kenny McIntosh does brilliant work with these inside the ropes things, and I have no doubt that this will have all been in part of an interesting conversation for the people that bought tickets to hear about, like, Bret's like current insights on the Montreal Screwjob. Look in Bret's book, he kind of ends it being quite critical about Shawn and Triple H. That was published in 2007, 2008, so, you know, time is what it is. Bret Hart, as you pointed out, is one of the few, I think, remaining people that you can trust to just speak his truth regardless of where the money is. So many wrestlers, and understandably so, will be concerned about maybe where their next Legends payout will be coming from WWE, or maybe not wanting to alienate people in AEW if there's such a spot, and thus will speak a certain kind of way about either side. Bret has never had that kind of roster. This is the man who was the first person to hold aloft the AEW title before it had a champion, and then toasted going into the Hall of Fame for his match with Steve Austin by rolling his eyes on camera as Triple H walked out on the stage. Like, there is a fearlessness that is, I think, to be so admired about Bret the Hitman Hart's way, and a trust in himself. Like, there is a man that backs himself to such a degree that he's simply not concerned with the trivialities of having to, like, politically protect himself. So it's just cool that he can speak with frankness and honesty. And look, he's as entitled to his opinion, frankly, as most of all of us, having gotten the money, gotten the miles, and taken the bumps. And knowing his way around the ring. Like, I would listen to Bret Hart more than, for example, I would listen to myself when it comes to critiquing your favourite wrestlers. If you like Triple H, don't be hurt by the words of the Hitman. But go and watch some Hitman tape and maybe come to realise that, you know, he kind of knows his way around too.
It's every time Bret speaks, it's always two counts. It's people, free camps, really. There's people who were there and loved Bret. There's people who were there and loved Shawn, and they're therefore probably quite negative about this story. I saw an article today why Shawn Michaels was always better than Bret Hart coming up in the wake of this. That's not correct, in my opinion, but you're entitled to yours.
The important thing is, some of these fights, they were both leagues better than Triple H ever was. Can we just get that, like, the two of them?
Bret was better, though. So.
Bret was better than Triple H. Triple H was the best bag carrier. Shawn Michaels was, like, just as good as Bret sometimes. You can have that fight. I mean, I enjoyed that debate, but yeah.
And the third one is people who are too young to see any of this and just think Bret's a bitter old codger. So it's always fun watching them collide. But hey, you know what you should collide with right now, friends, is our NordVPN deal is back. And it's here. You can click the link in the description below. You can activate the QR code that's on your TV, which you're probably watching this on right now. 76% off in the USA. 3 months for free. Great deal. Best in the business. Next.
Unbelievable bit of business. As will be Wrestlepalooza, I think. And if you're a fan of WWE, it might be getting even better. They're obviously in town and they're ready to go. They've got the pop-up shop open. And PW Insider were the first to note that there was a shirt for sale. This then did the rounds online afterwards with people taking pictures of the Wrestlepalooza card splashed across the front of the t-shirt. That notes a triple threat match between Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill and Nia Jax for the WWE Women's title. This is not something that is currently announced as we sit here Friday morning talking about this story, but SmackDown will air tonight, the go-home show. Ahead of Clash in Paris, WWE added the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six on the go-home SmackDown, so there's every chance it gets added on SmackDown tonight. Last week on SmackDown, Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton had an excellent and unexpectedly excellent match for the women's title that was ultimately went to a count-out and then Nia Jax beat them both up. So it's obvious that there was like a three-way feud coming or a spin-off program with Nia and Jade Cargill maybe, but it appears that it could be getting rushed to Wrestlepalooza tonight. This also, I guess, confirms that Tiffany Stratton has gotten over whatever injury it was that kept her out of the women's six-man.
Does say it's dependent on the injury.
That's right, sorry, she was, of course, missing from the NXT Homecoming six-woman. She was replaced by Lyra Valkyria in that, and I guess that wouldn't work here. Like the match can't be a title match without the champion.
Concussion.
So it's either Tiffany Stratton in it. Maybe that's why WWE have held off just outright announcing it, and maybe that's why it was obviously put on the shirt before it was sent to the printers or whatever. So I guess keep them peeled on SmackDown tonight to see if this gets made official.
Yeah, you could probably just do a contendership match if Tiffany's not going to be cleared for a bit. You could do that on SmackDown. I wouldn't put that personally on the Wrestlepalooza. Although, look, adding more matches to these cards is not a bad thing. The show's going to be 3.5, 4 hours long regardless. Yeah. So if you add another match, that just reduces. What's that little Twitter account that tracks all the time?
Oh, I miss those guys.
It's funny.
They were there, yeah. It's something like WWE match times. They're good. I like those guys.
It reduces the time from like 20 minutes to 15 maybe. So I don't know. But like Wrestlepalooza it's like a good lineup. It's got like every big name almost, apart from like Roman Reigns and a few others.
Tiffany Stratton was notable in her absence as a champion, really.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, absolutely. So already on there, you've got Stephanie Vacquet versus Io Sky, which I think is probably the best match on that show from a nerd work rate. Look at this kind of standpoint. So it's not like it's lacking in star power or match quality or anything like that. And it's got like. The media push this show has had is almost like WrestleMania level. Yeah. It's been insane. Like the amount of interviews that have come out and quotes and pushes. One thing we've not had so far is Nick Khan going mental, which we got this year, where he's like, I don't like people who go to sleep. What is sleep? Don't turn your out of office on. I'm Nick Khan.
It was his. He was given credit for the name, wasn't he, on account of his like love of all things old ECW. Yeah. New Jack gets a new WWE game, and we get a Wrestlepalooza in 2025.
Nick Khan is a big ECW mark, man. He's so pissed off. He's so mad at AEW for booking the 2300 arena. Nick Khan wanted to walk out to Natural Born Killers.
I can't believe we haven't talked about what the Sandman's going to be doing on the show this weekend.
Oh, no. Well, this is it. You're going to steal Sandman's heat from Tony Storm.
That's it.
Who do you think Nick Khan's favourite ECW rep? I think Big Sal.
How's Chili Willy?
Chili Willy. He's a
big Elvis Wesley guy.
Easy money kind of dude. Yeah. Cool. Let us know who you think Nick Khan's favourite ECW wrestler is. I think he's more of an XPW guy personally.
Oh, God.
But the less said about that, the better.
Oh, no.
Who's coming back on Raw? No, SmackDown tonight.
Hopefully not Rob Black from XPW.
It's not Rob Black. Gee whiz. Yep. It's Shinsuke Nakamura might be back. Okay. Back on the scene. Crispy and clean. This is Slaughterhouse lyric. He's not been on TV in ages. He's not wrestled since June. He is advertised for WWE's upcoming tour of Japan in October. And apparently he has been spotted in town. This is according to PW Insider. It's the old transfer deadline day. Steve Jones has been spotted at the airport and is signing for Wrexham. Have Wrexham ever had a player called Steve Jones? Let me know, Andrew Pollard.
Yes, please.
But yeah, he's been spotted in Ohio. He is in town for SmackDown, and that obviously creates speculation of a return. So I think it's very healthy for wrestlers to take a couple of months off every now and then, regardless of what it's, even if it's just to get some headspace and chill and relax and not be on the road for a bit. I think it's very healthy, especially for wrestlers like Nakamura, who are not necessarily the most heavily pushed and promoted people. It means that they can come back and you go, hey, this guy with a renewed interest. So good. Like, I'm all for these breaks and I'm all for this time off. I'm not sure if he's been injured or anything. Somebody please tell me if he has. I think he is someone who could do I don't know what it is, right? But I feel like he could use a fresh coat of paint. I don't dig the heel character. I'm not into it. Personally.
No, it was a bit of a half-baked fresh coat of paint, wasn't it? Like, he got a slightly updated look, and I think like WWE and specifically Triple H in this most recent era see him as a utility heel and not a lot more. Yeah. Now, that's not to say the main roster one was that great, like under Vince McMahon, for example, but there would be times, like there were ebbs and flows to Nakamura's run. If you think about like their United States title runs and the IC title runs and the stuff with like where Sami Zayn was his manager and that, there were certain points where like he kind of felt more integral than he would go on to become. We are crazily nearly 10 years in with Nakamura in WWE. That is wild, isn't it?
Yes,
like, he arrived in NXT in Dallas in 2016. So next WrestleMania will be a decade with WWE. And I wonder if like there's any of that, like on either side actually, any of that sort of like fire in the belly for one last run. You know, kind of AJ Styles looked like he was kind of being phased out, and then all of a sudden he worked his way back into main events, and he like has kind of like found a bit of a space finally back on WWE's main roster. So you wonder if Nakamura sees that or feels that or has an interest in that.
Or if he can't be asked.
Or if he can't be asked.
Maybe he can't be asked.
You know, like there's been elements where I think that, again, like the enthusiasm for Nakamura from the company has matched the performance enthusiasm for really wanting anything more than just to turn up on the house shows and do jobs. However, don't understate what that role is. Like, he was a guy that was plugged in to feud with the likes of Cody Rhodes at one point because, you know, your top star needed somebody to beat. So if nothing else, if he's doing that and people can sing along with his music, it's not a waste of everybody's time, is it?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what comes of it. I mean, giving him the old music back would be good. I know he had to change it because he changed gimmick and all that stuff, and it makes it sound like more mysterious and all that. But yeah, I mean, the original's a great WWE theme song.
One of the greatest.
Yeah. So, but hey, maybe he'll get Death Reveled. I don't know. He'll be like, "Hello, Shinsuke Nakamura." that could be a sting. "Hello, I'm Shinsuke Nakamura.
I'll Kinshasa you.
It's surfing time."
It's just straight down on the surf.
That should be his gimmick. Surf dude with attitude.
Kind of groovy.
Bring it back. Yeah, kind of groovy Shinsuke Nakamura.
Maybe that's how the Fed would bring the Sandman. They'd ask him to put the wetsuit come out the surfboard.
From his old surf gimmick. Get Sting in as well, why not? Get all the surfers in.
I'll bring him in.
Who was surf dudes with attitudes in the... remember that little... what was it called? The one where John Cena was... The fake territory they did.
UPW?
No.
That was a real territory.
Southpaw.
Oh, Southpaw, yeah.
Who were the surf dudes from Attitude in that? Was it Anderson and Gallo?
I was thinking, was it Doc Anderson and Lee
No,
Gallo?
he was Sex Ferguson.
He was there, yeah. Let us know.
What's going on? Let us know. And let us know your favourite.
All about that, yeah. Southpaw Regional Wrestling.
Rusev was a farmer.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
He did the Jeff Farmer promo as well, where he was like, "Yep, yep."
Could anybody from Southpaw potentially replace Triple H as head booker of WWE?
Lance Catamaran definitely could.
Cody Rhodes says no, but it's because he's put the hat in the ring for himself. He was speaking on the Unsportsmanlike show on ESPN, doing the promo, as you say, lots of promo for Wrestlepalooza this weekend, and they're sending out the big guns. Cody Rhodes was basically speaking in a very Cody Rhodes way about, well, replacing Triple H. He was quite convivial about it. He said,
I'm taking his job.
Yeah, I think there's quote this was, I think there's becoming a fight for it. I'm obviously the best candidate. He did laugh that off as he was saying it, but he went on to name some other people that he thought could replace Triple H in the hot seat in WWE. He said, quote, Punk is really great at developing young talent. Seth Rollins is a little rough around the edges, but would be an outstanding boss. Those were Cody's words. He then went on to name check Bayley and Roman Reigns as being the types of figures that would kind of always have a place there.
There's no chance in hell Roman Reigns has any interest in that job, is
I
there?
don't think so.
Not a hope in hell.
He's got kids to raise and boats to drive.
He's got time to spend with bigger things like chilling out and not being on the road 7 days a week.
But yeah, and he did go on. He did put over Triple H massively. He said booking is not always easy, and Triple H is doing a great job.
Tough job.
Cody Rhodes as a potential replacement for Triple H is far from the wildest shout. There's a couple of things here. Cody Rhodes currently is the figurehead of the company, and as somebody that's had that role, the likes of a Rhodes and a John Cena, Hulk Hogan was another one. They are often some of the names considered for that role because they've been on the other side of it and they kind of know what it takes to kind of like live the life and thus can understand what it is to be a top star. Similarly, when Rhodes was in AEW, he talked about how Triple H was his favourite wrestler and his inspiration, and so much about wearing the suits and becoming the corporate figure in AEW was about seeing life beyond the bumps. And, I guess Cody Rhodes maybe always visualises a life in wrestling. There is a third avenue where Cody Rhodes sometimes just likes to say stuff and get it out there and get things in the mixer. And the fact he's mentioning Punk and Rollins as his current in-ring competitors as ones that could also be his rivals for that chair in years to come. It's a good bit of banter to throw out there, isn't it?
Cody Rhodes talks a load of rubbish a lot of the time, but he's great at it and he makes you believe the rubbish constantly, and that's kind of why I like him, aside from his performances, obviously. It's one of the hardest jobs in the business. In modern context, it's a middle management position now. It's not like the chairman and CEO and head of creative. You are sitting between the board of directors and the wrestlers, basically. So you're not running the company or anything like that, which makes it more feasible for someone like Cody or Roman. So that's a funny one.
Judged by your numbers, somebody loses a job, somebody gets a job, gets a try. Yeah.
It's a middle management position, that's what it is. It's a very involved one and a very hard one, but it's not like the chairman and CEO are all the same thing anymore. Also, his dad was a booker, so he's probably got that in his blood too. He's probably got that hunger there too. I think he would be great at press conferences, deflecting hard questions.
He's better than Triple H.
Yeah, and then asking, answering like things like what's your favourite Pokemon, Cody? I think he'd do a great job at that. We've seen him actually be fun at previous press conferences. He's really good at bringing people in and making them feel comfortable, which is a good thing. Would you stop creaking, you piece of trash?
That eel, man. He wants that job.
It's the frickin' eel.
It's the job.
But yeah, Cody. What's the Bryan Danielson quote? I love lying. Cody Rhodes taught me how to lie. So I'll always take his stuff with a pinch of stardust.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a funny guy.
I like the guy.
Cody Rhodes. I don't think Triple H is losing his job anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
Unless Bret Hart has his way.
Yeah, that's it. If Bret steps in, if Bret's back for next year's WrestleMania, he's going to muscle him out. To be fair, it's Montreal revenge.
Yeah.
You know, there's that video of Bret's ex-wife saying like, "What goes around comes around, Hunter." Maybe she was talking about that.
Finally, in the year of 2030. No, it's not 2036. It's 2026 next year.
It's like 30 years since Montreal. I'm getting old.
I'm fed up of talking about Montreal. All right. This news is over. The next one's coming soon. In the interim, check out a video that the algorithm thinks you're really going to like. The eel is
he loves it.
Behind it now.
It's electrifying.
Blah. See you later. Bye. Yes.